Right, and now, what we've been waiting for, the ICO pitches. So there are 7 ICO pitches, and the person leading this is Ralph, who is one of the pioneers of the Crypto Valley Association, organization that is frankly building crypto nation block by block. Ralph, over to you to introduce the ICO pitches.
Thanks a lot. Yes, could you please? Thanks a lot for the intro.
Thank you.
We have a few very interesting ICO pitches, and now we're starting a little late, already 20 minutes late, so we have a 7-minute program for everyone. So 6 minutes of the pitch, and 1 minute to get the next one on the stage. And the first project what I could introduce is NeoPlace. And please have a close look. What is the team? What is the business plan? Is there a token needed? And should you invest or not? And if yes, it's good. You can do it this afternoon. So thanks, and get on the stage.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Amin Chabi. I'm the CEO of NeoPlace. So what is NeoPlace? NeoPlace is the protocol for marketplaces on the blockchain. We want to accelerate e-commerce and open up the market, particularly for small transactions and small vendors, by being the standard for the marketplace business model on the blockchain. Today's benchmark is obviously the big boys that you see, Amazon, Upwork, Fiverr. The particularity of that is it doesn't address anybody who's unbanked. It requires a certain level of cost when it comes to pure marketplace fees. The higher end is actually the services. And most importantly, when you do trans-border transactions, the Forex cost almost doubles your fee structure, your take rate. Well, how we do it? In a nutshell, we're developing the left side, so the trans-border part of our platforms. NeoPlace Market is the one for goods, and NeoPlace Service is the one for services, freelance services, and the likes. And for those who wonder why now, the main reason is there is enough appetite for cryptocurrencies in the geographies where vendors are the most present. In a nutshell, Greater China and India, but even Southeast Asia. We believe we still have product leadership when it comes to this application of the marketplace on the blockchain, and we want to keep it. And most importantly, cryptocurrencies, there is an appetite in our geographies for cryptocurrencies, and that's a way of being very competitive as a marketplace in vendor acquisition. Why blockchain? It's very easy to preach that in front of this audience. Obviously, the decentralization and the fact that most of the infrastructure costs are actually externalized, but also the fact that there is no central authority. We will have crowdsourced dispute resolution. We really count on the community to further develop beyond our platform. And we have developed a protocol that uses the best of both worlds to actually secure transactions every step of the way. We call it proof of stake, and I'll explain later. So how we do it in terms of a data structure standpoint, the upper layer is actually the app layer, the one you see in today's world. This is how we intend to cooperate with future developments, future marketplaces, e-shops, ancillary services who want to come and plug to our APIs. The second layer is our proprietary engine. It's basically our differentiator, the way we deal with the data at the app level and the way we bring that information onto the blockchain. And the third layer is actually the best of IPFS, the technology underlying Filecoin, for the rich content data, and Ethereum smart contract for the immutability of the transaction information. So as the transaction happens, things get logged here, and the hashes of the transaction critical data is going to be in the smart contract. So dispute resolution becomes very easy, traceability becomes very strong, etc. So how do we want to actually bring value to vendors and to users in general? The first key is really by slashing platform fees. So the take rate is generally taken from the vendors, But for extra services such as pay in your own currency, etc., today's incumbents take it from the buyer. We don't have that because it's a marketplace for crypto holders, so there is no forex cost. But in terms of the platform fees, we really target about 1/3 of the current benchmark. So the best in the business is Amazon Marketplace, and the minimum take rate is around 8% at the moment. We really want to beat that by being about 1/3 of that. We are very proud to be the first startup that actually has a working MVP. You can download it now on your iOS and Android before we even took the first dollar from outside. So we bootstrapped for the whole of 2017, and we actually managed to have a working transaction last week all through the blockchain with our proprietary escrow account. The NeoPlace token, NPT, serves the purpose of being essentially one of the currencies, the preferred loyalty program for anything that has to do with paying platform fees, putting a collateral, or anything like this. We are still working on this part, which is giving economic rights to token holders. It's a complete headache for lawyers in the best crypto-friendly areas. It's still something we haven't solved. But essentially, what we'll be doing is incentivizing the community to further develop the platform by offering cashbacks and loyalty programs on almost anything that has to do with transacting inside that platform. OK? So that's about it for me. You can follow us on Telegram. And obviously, you're more than welcome to join our whitelist. The private sale is going to start in a few seconds.
Please stay on the stage. Come to me. Thanks for the presentation, and I like to disrupt Amazon Marketplace. And is there one question out of the audience to the project?
I'll be more than happy to answer.
Where's the question? No question on that project? Here, Philip, please.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, how do you develop the content both from the supplier side, but also the user side?
Yeah. So for any marketplace, the name of the game is really developing the supply side. If you don't have a broad offer, nobody comes. What we intend to do is really put our marketing dollars, even during the ICO campaign, to populate one category in each platform. For goods, it's going to be laptop accessories. For services, it's going to be IT services, software development, and things like that. Our market for vendors is definitely South Asia and Greater China. And we are actually are pondering Hong Kong or Singapore as main base for this business and for the jurisdiction of the token as well. So thank you for that question.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm introducing the next project. It's called Hive Power. It's a project out of the Greater Crypto Valley area. It means Ticine. Please come on the stage, Gianluca.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Gianluca Corbellini, and I'm very proud today to introduce you to Hive Power, our project. It is a spin-off of a Swiss university. And Hive Power is made of a team of 5 researchers and engineers. And we have a deep expertise in smart grid projects, so both on the academic and at the industrial level. So in the energy business, we're facing a paradigm shift. So we're moving from few centralized power plants like coal, hydro, nuclear, oil and gas, and so on, to a new system with a mix of this still central power plant, but also an important distributed energy resource framework, so mainly driven by solar and wind. So we see that in this paradigm shift, there is a large room for this digitalization of energy. How does the energy business work today? We have an important gap in the buy and sell prices. So when you sell the energy to the grid, you get a very small tariff compared to the one that you pay when you buy the energy. So in this model is promoted only the single user autarky. So it means that you have to be good enough to consume the energy in the same moment when you are producing it. What's happening right now, and what will be the next scenario for the energy business is that this gap is going to increase, so you will pay much more the energy and you will be paid less when you inject your energy. So it's a common idea, both at academic and industrial level, that we have to build a new business model at this level to go to the community self-consumption. So we have to make users cooperate in a way that they can produce and consume the energy at the same time, but at community level. So our model is to implement a new market scheme, so to have a small gap between buy and sell price at local level. So when you buy the energy from your neighborhoods, or when you sell it to your neighborhoods, you will have similar prices. And with this small fee, we can already compensate the energy utilities for the local infrastructure, so for the operation and maintenance of your low voltage grid. This is a scheme of our platform. So we use three kinds of token. The high power token, the HVT, that is the one that we are issuing with the ICO, is a utility token, and you need it only to create and join these energy communities. It's very important that we don't provide a payment token. So to compensate for the production and the consumption of the energy, you use a stable token. So we will allow a list of possible stable tokens. So that could be fiat-backed or any other kind of stable token. So this billing system will run only once every month or once every 3 months. It's something that you can set up in your platform setting. But the most important one is this IRC 888 token that will work off-chain, because we need to do settlements very often, every 15 minutes at least. And so we have this another token working on the liquidity network that is a sort of micropayments platform that allows very cheap transactions. So on liquidity network, we will run both the cooperation algorithm that is used to make the workers, so this kind of blockchain smart meter, cooperate together, and also the tokenization of energy. So we can certify that in a certain time frame you produced or you consumed a certain value of energy. So our platform is really open, so we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to integrate any kind of hardware and software third party. So for example, if you are an electrical vehicle charger manufacturer, you can easily integrate your system in this platform in order to optimize your economics when you charge your car. The platform is based on this etherum smart meter, so a smart meter that will be very soon ready to tokenize the energy in a very safe way. As I said before, the billing system is based on this set of stable tokens, so it can be very easily integrated inside the platform. So this is our main innovation. So it's also the biggest difference between our project and all the other energy-related projects in the blockchain, that being us working in the smart grid framework by several years, we know that you have to deal with utilities and you have to provide a platform that is also good for them. So our algorithm that is working on liquidity network has two phases: the iterative declaration one, where every consumer can forecast their own production and consumption for the next 24 hours, and the utility can answer with a pricing signal to influence their real production and consumption. The second phase is just the execution, so you really produce and consume energy, and on top of the pricing scheme that is defined in the previous phase, we apply a bonus or a penalty depending on your forecast accuracy. So our business model as a company is super simple. So we just apply a small fee for every energy transaction made inside the platform. So it's a very fair compromise. So we apply a fee only when you save or when you make more money, so when you have advantages. Regarding the roadmap, we have already approved 2 pilot projects in Switzerland for this year, one in the Italian-speaking part, one in the French-speaking part. And during 2019, we will have other 2 pilots in Germany and in Sweden. But I'm pretty sure that we will run even much more of them. We already had very good interest from every utilities that we met so far. We are at the ICO summit because we are starting our ICO on the 23rd of April. We kept a kind of reasonable size of the ICO, what we really need to deploy our project, so the hard cap is just $11 million. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you're interested, please follow us in these channels, mainly Twitter and Telegram channels, and visit our demonstrator just out of this door in this demonstrator floor. Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. I would say energy is a huge topic in this market, not only wasted energy, also in another way. And I would like to open up for questions of the audience, please. Maybe someone of the judges? Bernd, no questions at all? If there are no questions, I would say thank you very much and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next project what I want to introduce is ShareWorld. Yeah? So please join us on the stage. And the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is... Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
My name is Mark Reiser. We are a group of Chinese and Swiss entrepreneurs who have developed a proprietary blockchain operating system with various applications. Our development team is based in Shenzhen, China. One of the applications, which we're going to talk about here today, is a game platform called ShareWorld. We're set to announce the ITO terms shortly. Today we're going to give you some rough indications of what these terms might be. The targeted amount we're intending to raise is 100,000 ETH. What distinguishes ShareWorld are 3 main features. Game community autonomy, that's the first feature. The second feature is that there are no publishing fees for game developers. And the third, there are no investment thresholds for game investors. What makes these attractive features possible is the underlying blockchain operating system with its decentralized peer-to-peer nature, and which can be shared equally among game players, game developers, and game investors. Standing next to me is Dr. Wan Xu. He's one of the brains behind ShareWorld, and he will lead you through the next 5 minutes of our pitch.
Thank you, Mark. For game player, the game fee in the ShareWorld is much lower because the profit of ShareWorld will be allocated to the game developers and the active game players. Here is the structure. Game players pay some ShareWorld coins to play game, then these coins will flow into a coin pool. And some of these coins will be given to the game developers, while some others will be given to the active game player. ShareWorld coins can be sold or bought on trading platform. Also, game players can transfer their digital assets to other games in the form of ShareWorld coins, so that their value of their digital assets will not turn to zero even the game is closed. In ShareWorld, game players can control the profits of game developers. When game players encounter some game with bad quality, they can make a complaint to a community. Then a corresponding committee will launch a vote for reducing the profit share of the game developers. If the vote passes, the profits of the game developer will be reduced. ShareWorld provides an official exchange platform to guarantee the safety and the fairness of trading. Furthermore, every digital asset in ShareWorld is recorded in the blockchain, which means that it cannot be faked or stolen. Also, the total amount of digital assets is under the control of smart contract. All we care about is the safety and the value of every game player's digital assets. For game developer, there is no platform fee in shared world. The revenue of the game developers depends on the rank of their games, which is guaranteed by smart contracts. No official agency can interfere with this profit allocation. On the other side, based on a large number of game players in the community, it's much easier for a game developer to obtain crowdfunding with pre-sale of game and game items. Instead of high input and high risk, the investment in shared world will be much flexible, and the risk is spread. As the profits of the investment depends on the revenue of the whole game platform instead of one individual game. Here is the structure of shared world game platform. The body of shared world is blockchain with a hard-beating game player community, which make important decisions and regulations through voting. Crowdfunding provides for shared world, while game item trading platform is a broader vessel, which help the digital assets and the shared coins to circulate inside shared world. Here is our team members. Last year, the game industry is about $108 billion, with about 2.2 billion games players around the world. And one popular game can bring enormous profits. For example, Supercell obtained $1.7 billion last year, just based on one single game, Clash of Clans. Share provides a channel where investors can invest in the game development by using share coins without any investing threshold. Also, the revenue of the game platform is based on a big game pool. If one of these games becomes successful, then the whole game platform will benefit from it. Furthermore, the huge number of game and players in the community will help to keep the value of shareable coins. Here is a shareable roadmap. You can find details in our white paper. On March 20th, we have released our first game demo, Magic Miner. Game players can obtain shareable coins inside the game, and they can use the coins in the later games. You can download this game on our official website or just scan this QR code. Here is our ITO plan, and you can find the details on our official website, 3w.shareworld.io. That's all for the share world and autonomous, player-shared, win-win blockchain game platform. Thank you.
Thank you for this presentation. I learned the gaming industry is huge, and I have no clue of it, so I'm happy that you have a clue of it and trying to get 100,000 Ether. What is the opinion of the audience? Any questions in the moment to this project?
I didn't quite understand. What do I get for a share? Yeah, my name is Roger.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get, what exactly do I get with the share world token?
You mean the ITO or just... of course, you can get coins by playing games. Or you can publish your game on a platform, you can get coins. Or you can join the ITO, and also you can join in some player community, you can get coins. There are many ways you can get coins. Because this platform is shared by everyone.
So it's a full utility token in the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much on that, and please clap your hands for Sherwood. So in the next project, what I want to bring on the table is Papyrus. Abid, please come on the stage and tell us a little bit more about your project.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you here.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. My name's Abid Jan Mohammed. I'm the CEO of Papyrus. I'm really excited to be here to tell you about our platform and our business, which we think is going to revolutionize the ad industry. So the ad industry over the last 20 years, or the digital ad industry, has been through two waves of inflection. So one was digitization in the early 2000s, and in about 2010, it went into automation, or programmatic, as is the industry term. With programmatic came this. We thought initially efficiency. Over the last 7 years, it's become complexity. There are a number of different players in the ecosystem between Coca-Cola wanting to run an ad and the consumer actually seeing the ad. across mobile, desktop, video. And as a result of that, this industry has now grown to 229 billion, but there is a significant amount of fraud, malpractice, arbitrage across the entire ecosystem. The biggest advertiser in the world, Mark Pritchard, who spends $7 billion on advertising, thinks that there's about $2 billion of wastage in his advertising plans. And he's driving this wave today, and it has to come from the brands and the demand side to change this ecosystem. So really, the ecosystem has become opaque. The supply chain has a number of inefficiencies in it, and there are too many players taking slices through that chain. So what have we done? So if you look at this, you can see here, these are some of the big challenges. One of the biggest challenges are you've got intermediaries, and those in the old days of financial markets are essentially brokers, potentially agencies, trading desks that are essentially the arbitraging media. You've got about 6 billion is lost in fraudulent traffic, so traffic that is essentially clickbait, click fraud, and also traffic that's not viewable. So a lot of advertisers are paying for ads that aren't viewable, which is a real problem, or aren't being seen. Settlement for publishers takes between 60 to 90 days. So massive cash flow issues for the publishers, massive inefficiency. And then there's a lot of brand safety. You've heard all about the brand safety, ads appearing against guns, against malicious content, et cetera, and lots of brands are starting to worry about that. So what we've done is essentially we've built our own blockchain platform. And what we're really very simply trying to do is streamline the supply chain. We're effectively we've created an ecosystem, and we're going to enable all the players on that previous slide to effectively integrate into our ecosystem, and we're going to use smart contracts to track every single transaction down to bid level and down to impression level, settle in real time, and bring back the trust, the transparency, which Mark Pritchard and a lot of the CMOs are talking about, and really kind of revolutionize the advertising industry using blockchain. We raised the pre-ICO in October last year of 1.5. We stopped, we paused, we built an MVP. I've been an advertiser for 20 years. There's a lot of players out there that sell way ahead of time. We've got a platform, and we've built an MVP which enables us today, and we're in the process of driving traction with the ad players, from the big agencies to the brands, to the ad technology companies in the middle. And we're effectively integrating those people onto our platform now as we speak to start to run tests towards the end of Q2 and early Q3. So we will have pilots running on our platform at that time. Our product suite essentially incorporates 3 key elements. So we've got the integration tool. So that's onboarding all of these different players. And we're going to simplify that for advertisers. We're going to go and work with the biggest players. We're going to integrate them onto our platform. Some of them might even invest in our ICO, but we're effectively looking to try and take all the thinking out for the advertiser by integrating those people. We've got a reporting layer, which is a campaign dashboard, which essentially allows advertisers to see in real time what's fraudulent, what's viewable, and how their campaign is performing through the ecosystem. And then we're going to use smart contracts to really simplify the settlement and every part of the ecosystem that today is causing issues for brands, agencies, and the ad tech vendors. So, very simply, we're taking the industry through its next wave. We believe its next inflection point, and we're taking it on a journey to bring back trust and transparency, which is ultimately where we believe the industry needs to try and be. We've got big data scalability, so because we're building our own blockchain, everyone's heard of GDPR here, it's coming out in 2 months' time, and that's causing a lot of consolidation in the industry. It's also causing a lot of players to start to behave better around data. And because we built our own blockchain, we're essentially able to manage the volume of data that exists in the industry at bid level. Privacy management, so massive part of what's going on in the industry, who owns the data, the processor. Again, all of that will be permissioned through our platform. Less fraud, less middleman. So ultimately, we're looking to create winners here. The losers will be the people that don't behave and don't play the game the right way, and arbitrage and do all of those things. So ultimately, we're looking to really simplify the ecosystem. And then really disputes, we're going to automate a lot of that discrepancy issues that exist in the ecosystem, which today varies from anything from 10% up to 50 or 80%, depending on what it is. We've heard advertisers that say that 70% of their advertising is not viewable. That's a real problem, right? If you're an advertiser and 70% of your advertising is not actually seen, what are you spending money on, right? We're going to simplify that entire process. So we've built a rockstar team. We've got a great bunch of advisors, from the CEO of Havas to Tim Brown, who's now at SAP and has been through this and been through the advertising industry for the last 20 years. We've got a great team. We're building traction. We've raised, as I said, a pre-ICO of 1.5. We're raising our ICO of 17.5. We're in private sale right now. We're raising 10 million in our private sale. The team's outside over there, so if you've got any questions or want to discuss it further, please come and talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Abid. A question from my side. I think there's a huge market for advertisement in the ICO, and Facebook is closing down, Twitter is closing down. How do you solve that?
I wouldn't say closing down yet, but ultimately where we're focused on is our first part is going to be the display, the video, and the audio advertising. We'll deal with social as part of that, but we're going to really focus on trying to solve those problems for the advertisers to start with.
Great. Okay. So I'm giving hands over to the audience over there. I'm going, oh, no, we have to take one of the judges, of course, because they are waiting you. Sorry for that. Bernd?
Hi, I'm Bernd. You got my attention when you said you build your own blockchain.
Yeah.
So the question is why and how big is your community? Is it a public or private blockchain? And to be honest, on your team, I haven't seen any tech people on there. There's a lot of business people on your team. So why do you think that you're sort of building a blockchain is better than Satoshi Nakamoto or Vitaly Buterin and the whole community they sort of activated?
So our tech guy is sat right there, Igor. He's our founder, and all our tech is built out of Moscow. The reason we're building our own blockchain is really there's a number of reasons. So Ethereum, for example, it's very expensive to execute on Ethereum. There are billions and billions of rows of data, billions and billions of rows of ad requests. To be able to deal with all of this complexity, we feel we need our own blockchain to be able to manage the consensus framework that's required around advertising. There's so much data and so many players in the ecosystem that we feel our own blockchain is required.
So is it public or private?
It's a public blockchain. Yeah, semi-public, semi-private.
Regarding the time lag, I would say go on that further on.
Yeah, we'll discuss on that. Yeah.
I would like to say 100 developers in Moscow to developing your blockchain and building an economy. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Clap your hands,
Cheers,
please.
thank you.
So I got another great project on the stage now. Pavo, please, Alan. And he made a huge quote before. He said he will halve his time for the speech, that you are faster at the lunchtime. So thanks, and 3.5 minutes for you.
Thank you very much. When the world-famous Y Combinator started, they were funding companies that were just an idea on a napkin. And I think the ICOs have gone through that stage. And with respect to Neoplace and Papyrus, it's impressive to see companies that have built prototypes or have shipped to market too. And we're one of those, Pavo Coin. My name's Alan Young. I'm from San Francisco, and I'm one of the co-founders of Pavo. I want to share with you, I'm going to talk very quickly about one of the sexiest and most loved industries in the world, and that's farming. My family comes from, I come from a family of alfalfa and beet farmers, so this is very near and dear to my heart, and it's a privilege for me to talk to such a large audience of very passionate people about crypto and farming. Oh, and for all you Pokemon fans, that's a Pokeball. But by 2050, we will have an exponential growth of the population, right? 9.1 billion people. And we need to produce about 70% more food than we do today. But food does not grow exponentially. It grows very linearly. So we're trying to solve that. Another quick slide, you're going to see the shortage of food that will hit in the next decade. This is according to the UN. We're going to see major countries with not enough food. So One of the things we do, there have been other tokens created for agriculture and farming, but we feel that they have not gotten any kind of traction, any kind of adoption, because they're sort of white papers, right? We have already shipped our product. And our strategy is to get as close as possible, deep down into the roots of the industry by being there for the farmer. So we've built hardware and software and sensors, and we're living right next to the farmers. So we've created a platform where we help farmers increase their yield of their crops and the quality of their crops by first providing an IoT on the blockchain platform for agriculture. And our sensors help them make better and smarter decisions. And then, our blockchain technology will help the entire supply chain of the agriculture industry. It's very important to do this because as we move, as the market develops, you're going to see demand from consumers about being able to track and trace where any kind of crop comes from. So why are we on blockchain? That was one of the big questions. It will allow us to prove provenance and provide radical transparency, right? It will act as a payment system. And then this token is also an API to our platform. So it will allow for real-time management of and access of real-time data. Our sensors provide analytics. It allows the farmers to see their data over time and in real time, and it helps them optimize their gardens. These are a few of the measures that we take, and these are some of the outputs that we can help control. So we're not just some software, right? We are actually there at the site to help them control their systems. And these are some of the benefits. Garden management, intelligent automation, and data analytics. We purposely did not put up a team slide because we want you to come and meet us at the exhibit hall. You'll find that our team consists of technologists. For example, I came out of Y Combinator myself. We have built carrier-class technology solutions for companies like Verizon, Apple, et cetera. And that's it. I hope I used less than 3.5 minutes.
No, you used 4 minutes. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the preparation with the Y Combinator was not bad, but not good enough. But please open for questions here in the audience. Something from the first row? Or yes, please. Could you hand the micro?
What do you actually deploy to the farmer? Is it like software? Is it sensors? Is it consulting?
No, definitely. Well, there's consulting, but that's free. But so one of the reasons why we are conducting an ICO is because we see this as a giant land grab, right? This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry globally, and we think you need to have a physical hardware presence at the site, right? And that makes you sticky and makes you hard to replace, irreplaceable, right? So we don't build hardware, but we will deliver hardware. We have created our own gateway, kind of like Wi-Fi access point, which works with a lot of different protocols, including Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and cellular networks. So we provide sensors, hardware, and software. But our real secret sauce is the software, the machine learning, figuring out the differences of each crop for each region, et cetera.
So thanks a lot. Regarding the time, I have to thank you and go further to the Rouge project, please. And I learned with the Rouge project, come on the stage, please, Christoph. I learned from him that he already cut it down, his pitch, from 15 minutes to 7 minutes, and now to 6 minutes. So we will see how it works. Thanks, Christoph.
Okay, next. So why we need blockchain for coupon? Well, we can check first what's the new reality with internet and computer. In the internet, you can copy-paste everything very easily. Actually, the cost of one digital good is the same as the infinite digital good. Sometimes it's a good thing, think about Wikipedia, open source, on the fact that internet has become an infinite media library. But sometimes when you want to create value, it's a bad thing. Of course, for digital money, for voucher, for coupon also. So with the blockchain, we finally find a solution to forbid duplication, to forbid easy copy-pasting. So yes, you cannot copy-paste your Bitcoin. You cannot copy-paste your crypto kitties. So we can sum it up by saying that the blockchain is a machine to create scarcity on the internet. This is why, if you think about coupons, which are digital goods for which scarcity is a good thing, blockchain is a very natural solution. So what is the Rouge project? The Rouge project is an open source project which is building a protocol, the Rouge network, which is a low-level protocol, which is work on top of Ethereum, using a smart contract, and it's a trustless protocol. It's also a permissionless protocol, meaning that anyone can use it. You don't need to ask us a permission to create a campaign of coupon, to issue coupon. It's also a platform, meaning that being a low level, it's more meant to build lots of decentralized applications which are using coupon on the blockchain. So what are the value propositions for the three actors? So I forgot to say about the three actors in the previous slide. We have, of course, the issuer of a campaign who create the coupon. You have the user who acquire the coupon, who go to the shop and redeem potentially the coupon. And you also have a third actor, which is a publisher, which is going to advertise coupon. So for the first actor, which is the issuer, the first advantage is that accounting and tracking become self-evident because everything is on the blockchain. And that goes with the fact that using coupon on the blockchain is a cheaper solution. You don't need to create clearinghouse, which is very expensive. Current traditional actor of coupon spend a lot of money. The main one in the US is spending $1 billion. And also, another advantage is that you only need to pay the publisher if there is actual redemption or maybe user acquisition during the coupon traveling from the issuance to the shop. And finally, the same way that Bitcoin has solved the problem of double spending with the blockchain, we have solved the problem of double redemption the same way. For the user, because the coupons have better value, it means that it probably got better discount from the merchant. There is symmetrically then double redemptions. The blockchain solves the problem of repudiations, meaning that an issuer cannot say, this is not my coupon, because it's signed, of course. There is a guarantee that this coupon is valid and the terms are correct. The message that everyone knows, this coupon is not valid anymore, cannot exist. And finally, probably the most important value proposition for the user, it enables secondary market, meaning that the user who doesn't want to use a coupon, redeem a coupon, can exchange it or sell it to someone else. And finally, for the publisher, which is selling some part of real estate on the internet to advertise the coupon, it gives probably a higher percentage of revenue stream to them. And because we believe that this coupon will be more valuable coupon, probably attracting a better traffic and more important traffic to the website. And the last advantage for the publisher is that the payment to the publisher being escrow in the smart contract, there's a guarantee also for the publisher that he is going to get paid. Trustless. So we use a token, which is 100% very strong utility token, but I don't have the time today to explore all the use, but the main one is that when you create a campaign, the protocol says that you need to put, for every coupon you create, one token in deposit. And if this coupon is not redeemed at the shop, this token is going to be burned. Obviously, this is a huge incentive to use the network correctly. Spam become impossible because too costly. But more than the fighting against spam, it brings issuer to try to create a campaign where 100% of the coupons are going to be redeemed. So more valuable coupon, the thing I was speaking before. So the second utility is about escrowing the payment between the publisher and the issuer, for which we need also to create potentially outside of the protocol other token to curate the good publisher. This is also a very important aspect. So that's it. I was very fast. I tried to explain the protocol. I don't have any slideshow about team and so on, because you can come up to the booth to meet the team. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christophe. I think it's an amazing project, and we had also the first cryptocurrency already in Switzerland in the 90s. Mm-hmm. You know the VIA. It's also a coupon where you can pay with, and you bring it now on the coupon world here. Questions from the audience to Christophe, please. Nothing left beside your appetite for the lunch? In this case, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And the next project I want to introduce was on the agenda as Paymium, but it's even better. It's blockchain.io. I would invest into the blockchain.io because of the URL you already bought 2011, I learned. So probably the value of this is already 1 million. And you can think about what is the value of the additional project. So the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank the organizers for a wonderful event. Blockchain.io is Paris-based, so European, but Paris-based. It's going to be a crypto exchange. I'm going to detail a bit the history. I'm Canadian. I'm not French. I live in Paris, love Europe. I think it's really exciting. Blockchain.io, as mentioned, was bought a long time ago by the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is Pierre Noisat, and I think if you have to remember a few things about blockchain.io beyond the name, and it's a crypto exchange, he's an experienced cryptographer. He's one of the most senior French cryptographers, so he's a cryptographer. He cryptographed in the US, in France. He's a very strong mathematician, and in 2000, when he read the Satoshi Nakamoto, he said, this is it. Everything's aligned, the stars are aligned. In 2011, he started a Bitcoin exchange in France called Paymium. And everything he's done was based around that. He's kind of a Bitcoin maximalist over time, and as the market has evolved, he's had a bit more sympathy for the Ethereum blockchain, et cetera. It's basically today a very strong team, first of all. Every project I've seen in VC has a strong team. This team has been together for a while. They're all very strong mathematicians. You have 12 more people. It's a European project, and let me detail that because I'll be touching upon a bit of the regulatory framework. It's a European Union project. There's going to be people from Estonia joining the project. It hasn't been really mentioned here. We've been talking about Switzerland, which is an objective success and probably the biggest European success. But we're talking about Gibraltar. But I think also Vilnius and Tallinn have a lot to offer in the European Union. But for us, it's the same world. It's part of the same equation. So this is the team you have. Pierre has been very, very solicited everywhere. He had the vision very early of trading across chains. Hence, he bought the blockchain.io name. And it's been very, very compelling. The blockchain.io project is going to start in September. Paymium has been around since 2011. It's been hack-free since 2013. Okay? It's been very low profile because he's a cryptographer. He doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be here. We have 170,000 users on Paymium today who've bought Bitcoin. Hack-free for now. The world is always full of surprises, but he's thinking a lot about these things. And you've seen Ledger earlier on with L'Archevêque, who's part of the French Bitcoin community. And we've been really thinking about essential features. A lot's been going on here, and this is the view of this exchange. We need many exchanges and decentralized exchanges with different thoughts. We just had a project which was Russian-based. I think it's important to have a DNA and having an origin, whether you like it or not, so people can choose. This decentralized world is necessary from having maximum liquidity in various tokens and to see how the world evolves. We need different ideas. We need to be challenging each other. We don't want a uniform, homogeneous world. We need something a bit more than that. So when you have the security and the reliability of the company, 2, 3 things I'm going to tell you have been very, very strong. This discretion you've had with Paymium is linked to the fact that it's a Bitcoin exchange. And if you know the numbers or if you don't know the numbers, the Bitcoin to Euro pair that was traded in November of last year was only 8% of global volume. 60% was yen to Bitcoin, and about 20% in dollar. Now, everything's changing. The market's growing. The splits are growing. Asia is a huge market, and it's very, very disruptive and all that. In Europe, the regulators gave us actually not that much of a hard time. We are regulated as a Bitcoin exchange, as a European service provider or electronic payment. So it's KYC. It's the full KYC. Like, you know, utilities bill, where do you live, bank account, identity card, everything has to be identified. And that's a European standard. So it's done for all of Europe, ex-Switzerland. That's absolutely essential in the equation. The other thing we had in the fall of last year when we saw these prices rise, we had problems with banks, big institutional banks. You know, credit cards didn't work, these type of things. We're past that now with Paymium, and now we think the time is to go into a crypto exchange. Unregulated, but if we have to regulate things, we will do them at the best possible level. What we've had also, which is kind of new, ACPR, just for your thing, your knowledge, is Banque de France. In Europe, the way you're regulated is your national regulator regulates you, and then if you want to go to another country, he sends a letter to the other regulator. If they don't have any questions, you're passported. It's quite simple. The company Paymium has audited accounts since last year. It's one of the first Bitcoin exchanges to be audited. So it's a lot of features which are strong. The company is profitable. If you want to have more information on that, we'll give it on the white paper. It's extremely profitable. One of the reasons is because of inventory. You know, if you've been around since 2011 and people pay you fees in Bitcoin, life is a bit simpler. The cryptocurrency exchange, I think, is moving. We hear a lot about cryptocurrency exchanges. We don't think that we think the institutional world is going to transform our world, our crypto world. We see the biggest challenge not really being regulatory, because we think the regulators are going to come around to it, or you have regulatory arbitrage. But what's going to be interesting is the custody, the security of the asset. If you have that equation solved, all the institutions will come in, and by way of consequence, the volumes everywhere will grow significantly for everybody. So we think this is extremely powerful. We decentralize settlement, which is what we referred to that on all the various fair exchange protocols. And on the advisory side, we basically want to list tokens, and we're going to have our own committee for accepting tokens. We have someone from the US on the committee. We have someone in Silicon Valley, and we have people in Estonia and other Europeans to help. And we're always welcome to see more people, because we think an exchange is more a place of meeting. It's a market, so people exchange information, know-how, best practices, and we have to be very transparent on the crypto component. We can go on and on about these different protocols, and we're very, very close to a lot of them. We'll get to off-chain protocols very shortly. High-performance matching, these are matching engines. They're open source. They exist in the historical markets, what you see in stock exchanges. Order management, long-short trading. 2, 3 things I just wanted to highlight to you. Things like peer-to-peer lending and have to be regulated in the real world by normal regulators, because securities lending or token lending, and we already have a regulatory roadmap. We do not want to be regulated if we don't have to. We're seeing regulators in Sweden, in Estonia, and in France, and we've had advanced talks with them. Right now, our impression of the European Union, unlike what some people say, is that they don't want to have national regulation. They want to make it something broader, which means if it happens on the European level, it's 1,000 days. Because by the time it goes to the European Parliament, every country's contributed, it's taken forever, and it's very watered down. And actually, we think that European regulation is better than what we have now in Europe. Now European regulation, European Parliament votes, big countries kind of gold-plate it, and then it gets applied. We just want European law. I think it's the best thing around. It'll be simpler for everybody. And also, we think that Europe is changing considerably in the fintech industry. There's a new fintech law. So while we don't like dealing with regulation, and we're really from the crypto world, there are some things, some little points you have to deal with. This is where we're going to go. Paymium is going to change. It's a continuum from Paymium, which exists, to blockchain.io. All the customers of Paymium, the 170,000, will go to blockchain.io. And we're going to increase the fiat to a yen, dollar, and won ideally, and sterling, and maybe CHF, depending on the demand, and see how we can move forward on these different types of cryptos. And you see the obvious pairs we're going to be offering in the altcoins, with the altcoins. generalities, which we all know, and I think they're very important to mention. One thing we have to realize that we have a foot in the regulated world, whether we want it or not. We have to really deal with it very well and very professionally. We've had no regulatory problems, but we want to keep staying. If we don't need to, we do not want regulators to get involved. If you want more information, just feel free to call us. I'd be very happy to answer any questions offline. I mean, everybody's hungry, it's been long, but there's fewer people. So there's a Canadian expression, the Indians, North American Indians have an expression, small fire close together, so it's really a privilege to be with you, and thanks you very much for everything.
Thanks, Philip. Impressive project, and we all know how expensive it is in the moment to bring a new token on exchange. So I also understand how you can finance this. But I want to open up for one question. Any question to this project from the audience or from the judges?
Please.
You mentioned high performance matching.
Yeah.
What capacity are we talking about? How many transactions a second?
We've used traditional matching engines that you have in the markets. It's something like one is 100,000 a minute, I think, something like that. We're going for other ones, like the traditional matching engines you have in rate exchanges are open source. We're using those ones to be developed.
Any other questions? Just today in the news was that Bitfinex is coming to Switzerland. So probably coming to Switzerland. You're very invited to join us in the Crypto Alley. Thanks a lot and have a good lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also, please put your hands together for Ralph. Thank you very much. Woo.